Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to another away day guide. We are obviously going to Oxford this weekend. This is your away day guide to Oxford. This is one of, well, after this one, we've only got three left, Amy, after this one. Only 3 away day guides. Welcome in, how you doing?
I'm all good, thank you. I'm feeling very sad about that there's not many
Yeah,
left now. We're
that
getting to the end of the
sucks.
season, aren't we? It's scary how quickly it's reaching. I mean, I know we know that because we're counting down to see if we can get in the playoffs and all that, but it is a sad day when you start to think, oh God, I've only got 2 more away games left or whatever. I
Yeah.
should have Rotherham and Crewe, but I may have to be sensible and choose between the two. But we will see. We will see how we go.
Absolutely. Well, this is it. So obviously after this one, we've got Shrewsbury, Crewe, as you've just mentioned, and Rotherham. Rotherham's on the Friday. It's like a 2 p.m. kickoff, isn't it?
That's
It's
on
the
Good
it's
Friday, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, which is
We
part of the
can
problem.
rule that one out, I believe. But we're here today to discuss Oxford. It is Thursday, the 17th of March, which of course is St Patrick's Day. So happy St Patrick's Day to all of my Irish friends and obviously viewers that watch the show. Who's your favourite Irish player?
There's only one for me.
Who?
It's always going to be Mr. Holland. Only one.
Matty H.
I was
Matty Holland.
so proud of him to the point where I went and bought the Irish shirt that year that he was in the World Cup
Did
when
you really? Had a
when he
great
scored
campaign.
against Cameroon, I think if I remember. He was amazing. I love him.
Do you think
So
he would have
yeah,
played as often as he did in that World Cup campaign if Roy hadn't stormed home? Because they had Mark
don't know.
Kinsella as well,
Don't
didn't they?
know. Good
So
question.
it
Years
is, isn't it?
ago, I went to an audience with Matt Holland, and somebody asked him that question, like, did that have much of an impact on him? And I remember him very diplomatically avoiding the question, saying, "Oh, that he really respected Roy." But I was like, "Yeah, you don't really like him, do you?" Maybe I was imagining it. And then little did we know he was going to become our manager shortly afterwards. But yeah, it's an interesting thought. But I just think that you for how many games he played for us, he was consistent,
He
and that
was
was through the
Mr.
2 years in the
Consistent.
Premier League, and afterwards with Charlton as well. He earned his right to be there for sure. I absolutely loved him.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved him, worshipped him. One of my favourite players growing up, alongside Martin Royster, who was on the platform. If you've not yet seen it, do jump back and check that out. An hour of fantastic content. But they both must have this rigid moisturising regime, Amy, because Matty H looks no different today than he did when he played. Martin Royster looks no different today
He doesn't.
than
I
when
was
he
so
played.
shocked.
I'll go Daryl Murphy because you said Matty H, so I'll go Daryl Murphy for that one great season, which obviously didn't end in success, sadly, but it's one of the good seasons we've had only recently. But yeah, let us know who your favourite town Irish player has been over the years. Is it Matty H? Is it Daryl Murphy? Is there somebody else we have missed? Obviously, as we go into Oxford, there's a couple of news pieces to pick up on. First of all, I just want to sort of mention what Adam's just come up with. Obviously, breaking as we sort of came live was the news that Game Changers 20 have bought the land behind Sir Ralph. That is the units where I think the company was Staples used to be. So it's those units there on the corner, I believe. He asked, does it mean capacity increase or something else? I think it's long term, isn't it? I think the units are standing empty. The land's available now. Don't wait, because in 5 years' time, if you get to where you want to get to, that might not be available. Whereas if you purchase it now, you haven't got to do anything with it today, have you?
No, and when you look at the stuff at council buildings, like they just sort of came
To the
up
left,
in the years
yeah.
of Eon, wasn't it, or Powergen, and when they were sponsoring us, that again, that's land adjacent to the ground that
Mhm.
potentially could be useful. Maybe we could have like a extension of the fan zone for now, or something like that, somewhere else for people to come in. But yeah, I think you're very sensible in your answer there. It's probably thinking about the future. But isn't it nice to think that actually that probably suggests there's no plans to move Portman Road?
Possibly. Doesn't hurt to add to the portfolio either, does it? In terms
True.
of value of a club,
Yeah.
owning lands in the surrounding areas. It could be just a signal of the start of a foray into that. As things come up, as high streets depress. Because those row of units there have sat empty for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah.
Uh, you know, with various things going in, various things going out. bricks and pieces, bars, restaurants, probably a hotel, but you don't get any of that bricks and pieces without a successful football team. And no disrespect to Oxford or Shrewsbury, playing in League One, you ain't going to fill out a bar, a restaurant or a hotel with Rotherham and Wigan, are you?
Well, you never know. We take quite a few to some away games, don't we?
No, you're not.
Or to all away games, to be fair. But yeah, you're
not. You're really not. But they are exciting things to be done. I'd have thought it'd be stayed. I don't know. I'm not going to change the 20. Sadly, I've not got deep enough pockets. But we'll see. It's
something
good news.
Exciting to watch, isn't it?
It's good news, though, isn't it? Absolutely. Yeah. It is good news and maybe the start. But so Irish players, we've got Leon Best, says Ben Moore. Wes Houlihan, says Adam. What on earth? Brian Murphy. What other news was there heading into Oxford, Amy? Because there was something else as well. It just escaped my mind. What is it?
Well, huge news today that I think we expected it on Saturday, but was confirmed that Caden Jackson is more than likely out for the rest of the season. At the very least, McKenna doesn't expect him to be there for any normal league games. Potentially, he might be okay again for playoffs if we manage those, but it doesn't sound good, and how sad that is when he just broken into his stride. He's tweeted earlier today about how disappointing it is at a time where he's beginning to love football, I think were his words. So really sad for him.
That is, yes. But obviously McKenna does also say that he would think he's got a future at the football club, which this time last year would have seemed
absolutely. Yeah, definitely. He's certainly proven that he's willing to work hard, hasn't he? Also looking like Morsey, there was no update, but it does sound like he wants to be back. So I'd be interested to hear whether people think he should be playing on Saturday or not, as he picked up that knock. Curtis was asking on Twitter, like he said, and actually I think I agree with him, that surely it'd be better to give him another week's rest to make sure he is fully fit and that we're not compounding an injury, making it worse. And I'm sure there was a third one. Who am I missing out?
Jackson, Morsey. There wasn't anybody else that was injured, I don't think.
The only other one was for Evans. Evans is ongoing. So
yes. It'd be interesting. Do you start? I don't start Sam Morsey Saturday. I don't start him. He was behind the pace when he played. He went off after 20 minutes. It was heavily strapped. I don't play him. I know that he's a warrior and he's setting the standards, setting the culture, and all of that business, and I get that. But there's also a sense of, let's be realistic about our chances here. As fans, we are always going to say, it ain't over until it's over. But as a football club, somebody's got to have a more proactive, forward-thinking vision, in my opinion. You've got to protect the player and think, we're in the last chance saloon. You play him, he makes it worse. You could ruin the start of next season. And we know how bad of a start can hurt you. We know that.
Exactly.
You know, that's why you're paid big bucks to run the football club and not sat in the stand, as it were.
I think that's very wise. I think that's absolutely right. And I think that the only thing for me is, as some Adams just said in the comments, as mentioned, Fridge. Yeah. We've lost Edmondson. We've lost Jackson. That the last time you and I spoke, we talked about this core of the club, the team starting to come together, and there's players that would be on that team sheet straight away. So because we've lost Edmondson, losing Morsey as well feels really hard, and even Jackson, who was starting to really cement his position in that team. So for me, little bit like I can see the argument for and against, but I think I'm leaning towards you, and I'd rather be thinking about next season myself personally. But I suppose that they're not, are they? The players aren't thinking about next season. They're still playing for this year, rightly so.
The fit ones, yes. The injured ones should be wanting to play, of course, but somebody's got to, let's be honest. As players, I would imagine they would have a leg hanging off and they would still say they're good to go. Yeah. Because they're players. It's got that. You do not become a professional football player without that competitive edge. You have to fight with other kids, other adults, other teens, all through your footballing career to be the best, to make the cut, to do this, to do that. But I want to play regardless. That's footballers. You got to look after it. That's my opinion.
So it's Colin up to McKenna to decide whether it's the right thing or not, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose the question always comes down to, can he make it worse? I guess it's always the end question, isn't it? Can he make it worse? If he can't, play him. If he can, sit him. That's what I think. But what do you think at home? I want to play a game. Previous players. We always do this on the away day guide. I try and guess a couple of previous players. We sometimes have a guest on with us to rival me, to challenge me. No guest today, but we have got. Hopefully you've got something for me, and I want you to play along at home with me as well. Try and guess along to the player as Amy gives me the clues. You have got players after that entrance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I've managed just about, literally just before we came on the show, Martin Dye has given me my 5th player. So I've managed to pull together my 5-a-side. I need to come up with a fun name for this next season. At the minute, it's shared 5-a-side, and that doesn't feel like I need something fun. But so I've got 5 players. We have got a defender, a left back, a midfielder, a winger, and a striker.
Oh. Okay. Can I go for the striker,
I'd love
please?
people to guess who they know that have played for both, but you're not allowed to look at the comments.
Can I go for the striker, please?
Yeah, of course you can.
Right.
So this 32-year-old striker came to us in 2005 and left in 2009. He went on loan to Oxford in 2007.
Jeez Louise. He's 32 now.
Yeah.
I've got no idea.
I think you'll be really surprised by this one.
In 2005.
And it is harsh because I don't think he played much for them, but he actually went on loan to them while he was playing for us. I think it was while he was trying to get a bit of game time because he wasn't getting in the first team. This is when he was really, really young. If you look at 32 now, so in 2009 he'd be what? Very young. I'm trying to think how young
20,
he would have been. 20.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
I've got no idea. I'm Dean McDonnell.
So he joined us in the youth team. He moved to the youth team because he joined Ipswich when his dad came here to be goalkeeper coach. There we go.
He played for Oxford.
Yeah. Whilst he was playing for us, he was on loan for them whilst he was playing for us, apparently. So that was quite a good one. Good one to start off with.
Yeah. Let's go for one more. What other positions have we got?
You've got a defender, a left back, a midfielder, and a winger.
Well, the midfielder is going to be Jim Mcdonnell. So I'll go for one of the defenders, please. I'll let you choose.
Okay, so I know. Okay, so this 51-year-old left back was originally from Stowmarket. He played for Town between 89 and 95. He made 131 appearances.
Gavin
and according
Johnson.
to Wikipedia, he scored 10 goals, but I feel like that was probably more.
Gavin Johnson.
Well done. There we go. I liked that one because that's from down the road from you, yeah.
What a guess. Just plucked that right out of the air. Gavin Johnson, look at that.
Great shout. Because he must have been like just before we started going to see him, I think. So that's amazing that you picked that one up. It was a name that I remembered once I'd heard it.
Boom. Yes. I can see him in my mind's eye. Yes. Never had many hair. Not much hair. From memory. There we go. Let us know who you've got. We've got Wickham. Did Wickham ever play for Oxford? I don't think he did he?
I didn't have him.
No, I don't think he ever played for Oxford. Let us know what if you got the same answers, if you got any others. Should we look at our previous games against Oxford as we head into the meeting with them? Here is the last 5. We have won once, Amy. And that was all the way back in 1999. Since then, it's been 0-0s or a 1-0 defeat. So do not stick both teams to score on your accumulator this week. Is that what you think?
Oh God, yeah. It definitely doesn't leave me very hopeful, especially like with us keeping clean sheets lately. Although they're pretty good for scoring at home, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, when I looked at that earlier, I was like, oh well, this is going to be fun to talk about previous games, isn't it? Although that defeat at home was they scored just before half time, and Caden Jackson got sent off in injury time. And I was searching everywhere to find out what he did. And apparently he kicked out at another player, but it was questionable whether he actually had done it or not. But
Really?
the club never appealed. Yeah, because I was like, I don't remember him getting sent off.
No.
There's another one. Well done to Ben. Phil Whelan was another one. That wasn't the one you guessed, was it?
No, it wasn't the one I guessed. No.
There's one more in my head that I can think of that I was quite pleased to come
Colin
across.
Vildron for the Hall of Fame. I get you. Sorry, Colin. I was going to say, I don't know. Oxford's a real enigma to me. Other than the boat race, I don't really pay much attention to them.
No. I know that sounds harsh, but I think it's fair. And when you look, like, other than us coming down to League One, we haven't played them since the late 90s. So
we've been above them really until much sort of recently.
But they're having a good year this year, aren't they? And Carl Robinson's always a manager.
He's
I like to.
Good manager.
Yeah. I always take interest in what he's doing. I think a lot of fans would have quite liked him to come here at one point, but So that I think both managers are being very respectful of each team, if that makes sense. So I think they're going to take it seriously, but I think we as fans need to remember it's not just Little Oxford. Like, this is a team who are doing well. This is a competitor for us. So it might be a small ground. It might be a club that we haven't played for years, like very often, until we were in this league. But we still need to show them a bit of respect, I think. Or maybe we need to go the other way and not show them any respect, because we show teams too much respect and we're not harsh enough.
I think we need to show them the utmost of respect, but we also need to pay them back a little bit for obviously the antics we had at Portman Road earlier in the season. If you remember, it finished 0-0, as the last five will tell you. But they were, just speak to anybody that was sort of there, I guess. They were chucking themselves on the ground. They were time wasting. We've got to go there and get, for me, 3 points, but also pay them back. School them a little bit in their own backyard, as it were, Amy.
Yeah,
that's what I think. But
we seem to be getting that a lot, don't we? Like, teams playing for fouls and stuff against us and throwing themselves on the floor.
That's the issue. They know they can't compete. That is the issue. That's what I think. Anyway. He says that as we're sitting in ninth. But the last five do not suggest that we should see any goals, really. If we do see goals, they ain't going to be that much. No, that many, are they?
No, right. Definitely. No.
Where should we take the guide now? I'll tell you what. I'm gonna get my Google map up first. First instance of the Google map. Here it is. Beautiful specimen that it is. There is the route to Oxford. Let me just. I'll flash the route for you. Directions. So I put Ipswich. Boom. There we go. 2 hours 25 minutes. Let's put it to arrive by. What time would you like to arrive at the stadium, Amy? If you were going on Saturday.
What, the ground?
Yeah.
Well, I'd be going to the pub first, wouldn't I?
All right, we'll do it for 2.
Put it to. I'm getting to the pub at 11.
Are you going?
No, I can't make it down, and it is actually my birthday weekend, so I have friends coming up. I have my sister and my brother-in-law and my best mate from Cambridge coming up to celebrate with me. So,
well, if you wanted to drive and get there by 1:30, you'd have to leave Ipswich at 10:30 for the or 5.
That's not bad, is it?
2, 10 and half 10 says Google Maps. That's not that bad of a trip this week. Sometimes I look at it and I literally die.
We've had some long ones recently, haven't we? With Fleetwood and Morecambe and.
That's pretty darn close for us, That's pretty darn close. So
easy peasy.
Absolutely. So as you tell me about where we're going now, what ground? The actual ground?
Well, yeah. Seeing as you've got it up on Google, let's have a look at the ground. It's not one I've managed to get to, which is a shame. But it. So I'd love to hear from anybody else who's been over the last couple of years, who's managed to get there, because it looks like our games were pre-pandemic, I think. That we have been there basically, so people must have travelled. Let me know what you thought of the ground. I had a look on the guides and stuff online and found out that it's the Kassam Stadium, which is named after their old owner, who used to own the club but sold it, but he still owns the ground, rents it to the club, which I found quite interesting. So that's what the Kassam is. That's their owner, or their old owner.
Stadium, there it is. next to a nature park. Would you look at that? Go for a little stroll, then go and get 3 points, then go home. Happy
And
days.
the Google route's taking you around
I know.
the stadium.
Look at that. Look. Take me right. I mean, why would I not just go up that road there and turn right? Obviously, you can't. But in terms of is it a newish ground? It must be then if it's
Yeah, 2001 it was
okay.
opened, so
Yeah,
20 years old.
yeah.
It was the new well, it was Kassam that built it.
Okay.
When he took over the
Hence why
club.
you've got it, yeah,
I
absolutely.
think the other one was more. I think from the sounds of it, it's right. It's a bit more on the edge of the city than than Manor Ground was.
Yeah.
And actually, Ant Steele shared a memory. He said his first ever away game was at the Manor Ground sometime in the mid-90s. I think we lost.
Right.
And he also remembers a 3-3 draw on the day Manuel Tetis. I can't
Yes,
remember how you say that.
Thetis. Yeah.
There we go,
What a
Thetis.
player. It's a one-way system, that's why. Just seen the arrows.
So don't go that way.
No.
But so that was so some people may have been in the 90s to the Manor Ground, which
I'm not
would be another memory.
Stadium.
Oxford is a one-way system.
I'm not a huge fan of this stadium. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Well, this is it. This is my worry about Portman Road going too far out and the amount of like Bolton being blooming miles away from although Bolton town centre is horrendous anyway.
40,000 seat state of the art, Amy. But this is a.
It's 10.5, isn't it?
Exactly. It's not. It's a cinema, I suppose. I'm just trying to think for parking. You see, there's a cinema. I imagine the science park is open, but you wouldn't be able to park in the science park. The nature park, is that going to be?
Apparently, there is loads of parking. There's loads at the ground, which is
but
free.
Amy, it's a one-way system. Literally, you're going to leave. You're going to leave the game and be there for the whole 90 minutes, if not more, afterwards, aren't you?
Well, I did see as well that Grenoble Road, along the bottom there is there's loads of space on that. So if you just go a bit further down, presumably that carries on past the roundabout.
Yeah, it goes round the roundabout.
So you can just
it goes on
go
further.
park on that. There you go. Loads of space there.
If you parked in here, it's a one-way system, one road. It's going to be, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be a fair wait. You think Portman Road's bad after a game these days, thanks to the council cutting half the roads off?
I went down a road today. The council were doing some work, and the sign said, you know what it says, like, this road is shrinking to one lane. And they had the roadworks, and then they had this massive, like, digger thing. So it was the whole road blocked off, and there was all these cars. Like, okay, what are you doing? I feel like the council are just trying to get everything in before it gets to April, and they're just building everywhere at the minute, aren't they? Great fun. Great fun. So that is why you need to you need to make sure you get the train to the football, so you don't have to worry about the parking.
How is the train to Oxford then? Tell us about that.
Apparently, it's quite a way away from the ground. It's about a 30-minute walk, so it is recommended that you get 4 miles, I think it said. So it's recommended that you get a cab, or personally, I'd find a few pubs to stop at on the way. 4 miles isn't too bad when you break it up with 4 pubs, is it?
No. No, that will soon fly by. Absolutely. Why not? Is it good for pubs around the stadium there? Because obviously, looking at it from the Google Maps, it didn't look great for anything, particularly food eateries. But how about drinking? Is it any good for that?
It doesn't sound like it. So opposite the ground, there is, like you said, there's a cinema complex, and that's got various restaurants there, so you can go. But it does say for away fans, they're not allowed to go to the bars there. So
really,
it doesn't sound like much fun. But I did see a recommendation online for going to I do apologise. Over at that cinema complex, there's a bowling alley. And they have Sky Sports and food and drink there, so that's an option. I suspect that'll probably be what most people go for. Or apparently there is a couple of traditional pubs located in Sandford-on-Thames, which is within walking distance. So that might be more people's cup of tea.
Yeah, I'm just going to get Sandford-on-Thames up. Hang on, let me just put this on here. Oxford FC Stadium. Boom. So it isn't actually that far.
There you go. Ant Steele says they went to the bowling alley at the open end last time. So that's, so I reckon that'll be the most popular.
A 20-minute walk where you've just said. There you go. Sandford-on-Thames.
I'd be interested. I mean, you don't have to. I'm not saying Google it, but I'd be interested to see whether that's on the way from the station, so you could like call in there on the way round.
Helpfully puts the bus routes in though. Like you could get a bus, you know. Oh, look, you can even see the little bus stops. Look at that, look. And that has a light.
I'm going to rename this show. Martin goes on Google.
I was only looking for a nice little eatery, you know, dope burger.
Oh, you haven't found a fun name. I did. Did
No.
you see Ant? Where was it? Went to the
Surprise
Chinese that you
Chinese. It
found.
was Fleetwood. That made my weekend. That I'm going to be honest, seeing Ant outside the surprise Chinese. I don't know if the surprise in the name was probably them looking out and going, "What on earth? Why are you taking a picture of
Why
my
is he
shop
taking
for?"
a selfie?
Yeah, absolutely. But that made my weekend. Love it. I enjoy these shows. Sorry, I'm having issues with my computer. The screen keeps flickering on and off. I enjoy these shows for the Google Maps. You know, you have a good look around the old area you're going to. Good scout, innit?
Absolutely, it's exactly what you do before an away day, isn't it? You have a look and see what pubs are nearest the
This
ground
is
and
it.
how
This
long
is
it's going to
it.
take you to walk and which
Well,
canals you're going to have to go through. What ground was I at there? Well, we went down a path and we suddenly realised we were basically going to have to swim across the canal to get
Oh, I don't
get
know.
to the main road where we needed to be. That was
Oh, I don't
great
know.
fun. Colin says, I went to the Manor Ground with my dad. We were on the pitch when we won the league. Oh, wow. That's
Yes,
amazing.
that was in the must have been in the early 90s, Colin. That must have, because I think my nan tells me about that day. Her story to me is always she was supposed to be at work, phoned in sick, and then got papped by the Ipswich Star on the pitch. So
Oh,
you know,
bless her.
she went to work and she's all in the paper, and you know she's supposed to have been ill that day.
Oh,
I mean,
she was off.
Yeah, she was off work and then she's in the paper at Oxford on the pitch. I mean,
Caught
it's the sort of thing
red-handed.
you get away with in the early 90s, right? With no smartphones and things like that. But obviously then they pap you. So she got in some trouble, as you'd imagine.
I can imagine. Totally worth it though.
But that's my example, folks. That's my mum. There you go, Lucy. No wonder I've turned out the way I have. That's the example. Anyway, where are we going now? What are we doing? Johnson scored. Good old Johnson. Is it car parking now?
Well, we covered that,
it all?
didn't we?
We done it all.
Yeah.
Flown it by. We're still in the half an hour. We're getting good at this half hour.
I know we've been very on the ball today. Very on the ball.
Oh yes, do tell the people because you've got some good news. I saw that. Tell the people about this. Colin asked, when are you next coming to the mighty Portman Road, Amy? Tell the people.
I'm coming down
Amy.
for the Cambridge game. I haven't been down since it was when we beat Leeds United on the year we went down. So I haven't been down for a long, long time. This is my first trip back. So I'll be down for the Cambridge United game, which is the Her Game 2 weekend for Ipswich at Portman Road and also at the Ipswich Women's game the next day. So I'm so excited. And I will, of course, be coming to find you guys to say hello.
We are there at the Sir Ralph. We are at the feet of Sir Ralph before and after every single home game. We are at the feet of Sir Ralph being overlooked by Sir Bobby. It's, you know, the past overlooking the present and the future. Well, that's how I see it in my director's mind, but whether it translates, I don't know. But yeah, come and see us. Looking forward to that. Cambridge. That's not long now, is it? Actually?
No, it's not long at all. A couple of weeks, I think. 3 maybe. Not long. Not long at all.
Quickly coming to.
I've got I've got birthday weekend, Mother's Day weekend, Cambridge at home. I'm loving the weeks that are coming up. That is a lot of celebrating in there.
So absolutely. Well, this is it. But you know. We are back with the away day guide on the 31st of March. I have it in my diary.
Okay.
With the Shrewsbury away day guide.
Yeah.
That's actually the Thursday before the Saturday for Cambridge at home.
Perfect. So I'm going to be so buzzing.
We'll do a little bit of build up for both, I think. Because that'll be exciting.
You'll have to let me know where's good to go after the game because the wonderful Martin Dye is putting me up for the weekend. So he's gonna need somewhere to take me for a glass of wine or two after the game, I think. So
well, you're better off asking Alex Wilson because Alex Wilson is he's the drinker in the TT crew, so he'll find a couple of pubs for you.
Love it. Well, we'll get recommendations that week. That'll be really good.
Absolutely. So we're not back next week. I'm at a budgie meeting. We're back the week after with Shrewsbury, the 31st. But this has been the Oxford Guide. Hopefully we'll return with 3 points. Last chance saloon for the playoff hunt. Amy, do you think we're going to come back with 3?
Honestly, no, I don't. I'm really sorry. I really don't. I feel like we've been heading for a defeat for a little while now. These guys seem like a really good team. I'm going to do a Mick McCarthy, and I would happily take a draw away from home against a decent side. I know it's probably not enough to keep us in the running, but I think it's respectable and reasonable. Question is, if we do get anything other than 3 points this weekend, will people have given up the hope? Colin, I will definitely come and find you in the fan zone, mate. That'd be lovely.
I think we've got to win. I mean,
Yeah,
mathematically, it will probably not be over if we lose. But you're 4% a while back. If you don't get 3 points after slipping up last week at home to Portsmouth,
yeah,
it's gonna be
true.
10 times harder. But we'll be back live tomorrow, 8:30, with the final look ahead, where we will look ahead to Oxford. Myself, Matt, and Rich will run through what was said at the press conference today, the injuries, as we said before, not the hotel purchase, the land purchase next to the hotel. We'll speak about that as well. We're back live tomorrow at 8:30. You got the Time Machine that was released last night. If you've not yet seen that, lots of stuff as always from your platform. Sean Gladden, Amy, you might be on the ball, but don't say City.
What did I say?
I think it's on the ball City, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
There you go. Sean's too quick for us today. He's razor sharp, is old Sean. Right, there we go.
He
We're
always
done with
is.
dusted. Yes. Lead us out, my good friend. And we'll catch each other on the 31st. Lead us out, my friend.
Absolutely. So if you are going to Oxford this weekend, have a wonderful time. Do make
Pictures.
sure you tweet us with any pictures, tag Talking Town, because we'd love to see it. I would love to see it, as I'm not going to be there this weekend. So I would love to see what you guys are all getting up to. And of course, any good pubs that you find, because I will make a note for next season, if we are still in this league.
Yes. Have you not got an outro you've been working on?
Oh, well, yeah. Do you want me usual?
Go for it. Come on.
So if I don't see you on Saturday, if we don't see you through the week, we'll see you through the window.